So I'm here with my good friend Richard Currie from university days. And basically, we're having a bit of a giggle, as we always do. But there is a more serious point why we're here today, and it is to talk about volunteering. And Richard's had a lot of experience in that world. So, do you want to give a little introduction to yourself, Richard Currie?
Yes, I will. I mean, my name's Richard Currie. Obviously, I live in Manchester. I'm 30 years of age and I've got cerebral palsy.
Okay, so we knew each other back in Coventry uni days, and a lot of people know about how difficult the transition from uni or sort of leaving home can be in its own right, separate to employment. And you had a particularly bad, well, experience really, and when you moved to Manchester, which I think is the sort of backstory of why volunteering was beneficial. I mean, do you want to just sort of briefly talk us through what happened?
I'll try and do it in a brief and concise manner, but basically, I moved to Manchester to study in 2006. And it was very difficult moving from one local authority to another.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggled to complete my MA in applied social research in Manchester because of the social care difficulties I was facing.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that was such a difficult time, I unfortunately developed anxiety and depression because I didn't really have any structure to my life.
Yeah.
And as you well know, Martin, for a good 2 years, I was in a very dark place with my depression and my anxiety.
Sure.
I didn't really have any structure or direction in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That was very frustrating, both for me as an individual, but also I think for my friends.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, my social care problems got resolved to an extent, and then, but I still didn't really have any structure to my life. So I was just looking there, and unfortunately, I had financial difficulties, yeah, which meant that I had to contact the Citizens Advice Bureau to help me deal with that process.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the CAB was superb, and that got me thinking about what I wanted to do in my life and how I wanted, my possible career to develop. And I decided that I wanted to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a look at the CAB website and saw that they had voluntary training opportunities to become a generalist advisor.
Okay.
And because the CAB had been so brilliant with me, I felt I wanted to give back to that organisation, but also believed that I could volunteer with a purpose, gaining skills and a kind of structure to my life.
Yeah.
That would help me get back on my feet.
So sort of a framework that you could get the areas of your life moving forward again that without that framework and that structure may not have happened.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Now, it was also like the skills development thing, but also it gave me a reason for being, to go outside of the house, and socialise with other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
To rebuild my self-esteem and my confidence.
Yeah.
And that was kind of really vital in me being in the position that I am today.
Yeah.
Now, while I was at the CAB, there were a few difficulties around making it an accessible thing for me to do. So it took a few weeks and months to sort out the right equipment, to drag and dictate, get transport issues and accessible toilet issues sorted. But once that was kind of resolved, I began the CAB training. Now, unfortunately, after a period of doing my CAB training, I had health problems with my foot.
Mm-hmm.
It was causing me a lot of pain
Yeah.
and anguish. So I kind of dropped out of the CAB thing slightly and kind of got out of rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So I attempted to do the volunteering, but the issues outside of my control,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of went on the back burner.
Yeah.
And that caused me a slight bit of frustration. But then I was surfing through my emails one day and came across an email that said, did I want to be part of a group called the Design Group?
Mm-hmm.
Undertook helping Manchester Local Authority in doing a trailblazer around social care, hoping to give disabled people more choice and control over their lives.
Okay.
Now, because I'd had experiences with the negative aspects of social care, I wanted to do something again that would build my skills up,
Mm-hmm.
but also try and resolve the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went along to these meetings to begin with, and I've never really looked back. Since then, I've undertaken level 1 advocacy training and peer support training, so I can help other disabled people who face similar issues as myself, but to guide them through the process, so that the things that happen to me, I can't stop them happening to other disabled people, but I can guide them through that process more effectively and maybe ameliorate some of the difficulty.
Brilliant.
And from that, I now, because I've done things like giving speeches, I've written a policy consultation for the Greater Manchester Coalition of Disabled People on how to get disabled people into employment.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things have contributed, in short, to me soon to be undertaking a internship with Breakthrough UK, which is an employment and disability rights organisation, in their policy and research section.
Brilliant.
So I really am looking at contributing to making change for disabled people. And I think, but more than kind of job-related stuff, I think it's done things for me as an individual. As you know, Martin, during those difficult times, I was very low and very introspective and didn't really have any self-worth. But through volunteering, which was structured and had a purpose to it, but didn't have the pressures and anxieties that could be related to holding down a full-time job, something that you know of yourself, I've been able to rebuild my confidence. And I'm now in a position whereby I'm relishing looking forward and working out a pathway into paid work at some point in the future, but with the proviso that I will undertake such a path when it's right for me as an individual. And I think that's one important thing that I want to take from this, that volunteering is positive for individuals, but you need to do it at your own time and your own pace. But to have a structure and a purpose to it, I think can be beneficial for individuals. And I'd just like to take the time out to thank people for listening to me today, and hope my video has contributed in a small way to give them the confidence and belief to at least look at the volunteering route as a way to add value to their lives. So thank you very much.
Brilliant. Wow, that was perfectly put, Rich. I mean, obviously, individually, you're one of my best mates in the world, so I'd sing your praises to the hills. But, you know, you're a top guy. The volunteering definitely has been a vehicle you've been able to press on after some very difficult moments. And I think, equally, everyone watching that can take a lot away, both in a sort of general things can improve and get better and progress, and in a kind of informational sense of certain ways to approach it and attack it as well. So thanks for taking the time out to share that, and I'm sure everyone can get in touch with you if they have any particular questions later.
some of the details to everyone.
Brilliant.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Rich.